that daily routine, but y'all knew that. Oh my God. Oh my God. There we go. What you doing? Oh my God. Where you at? What you doing? Oh my God.
And we welcome you to the Greensboro Ice House here for another installment of High Point University Club Hockey. I'm Graham Tuck with Danny Shay, this time for the Tar Heels of North Carolina, coming to take on the High Point University Panthers. And Danny, it was a great weekend of hockey last weekend here in Greensboro. Panthers got off to a 1-1 start, big win against Stevenson, and a tough loss against Wake Forest.
Good weekend for the Panthers, in my opinion, but there's one stat from this weekend that is mind-blowing, and it's the High Point defense, especially the penalty kill. They were fantastic. They were flawless. They start off the year 11 for 11 shorthanded. They have 3 shorthanded goals to go with that perfect penalty kill, and this defense last year was the glaring problem, And with this start and with the goaltending, we're gonna talk about Ian Temkin here in a second. What a turnaround for this Panther defense. Great weekend for them.
And a big part of that defense for High Point University is freshman Morgan Bird, and he's been a massive piece here for High Point.
Yeah, absolutely. Both goals against Wake Forest, both coming on the power play from Morgan Bird. Talked to Jack Olson earlier, defenseman here on this High Point Panther team. Jack really talked about how Morgan has been more of an offensive defenseman, which has been a huge boost to this team, a huge scoring boost to this team. He's been a big key to this Panther hot start to the season, and Morgan Bird looking to see the production from him.
And another guy that's been producing so far for High Point is Tyler Calkins, and he has been massive for the Panthers on offense.
Absolutely. Only player on the team with 3 points through the first 2 games. He's got a goal and 2 assists so far. He's got the C on his chest for a reason. The guy knows how to play hockey. Stats on the ice clearly show it, but his off-ice presence has been crucial to this High Point team. His off-ice leadership, that's why he has that C on his chest. So if Tyler Calkins can continue his hot play on the ice, as well as continue that leadership off the ice, it's going to be a big reason why this Panther team can make a deep run come later in the season.
And another big key for the Panthers, like you were just talking about with Calkins, is sophomore netminder Ian Temkin, who has been phenomenal to start things off so far.
I mean, what can you say this guy has done wrong these first 2 games? He's got a shutout against Stevenson. That's 31 saves. He made 32 saves on 35 shots against Wake Forest. He got a .955 save percentage to the first 2 games. He's the only Panther goaltender ever to have 2 shutouts, and he's just played with extreme confidence, and you've seen that. Watching these games, he has the mentality that he can stop any shot that's coming his way, and that's crucial to any hockey club, not just this High Point team, but any team. If you have a goaltender in net that knows he can stop any shot that's coming at him, that is absolutely huge for this team.
And a big part of the Panthers' success so far has been, their goaltending, as we talked about. But for more on their opponent, let's go down ice side to Mike Guerriere.
And as we look our heel side of the ball, 2 big assets are out for them. Willis Hendrick, a senior defenseman who is an assistant captain, and Henry Foster, who is a captain, a junior forward out of Darien, Connecticut. 2 huge losses for our heels on their side of the ice. Heels are coming off to a rocky start, coming in at 1-3-1. The defense to step up and keep the puck on their side of the ice. Tar Heels are going to face a tough opponent in Ian Temkin. Like Danny said, his ability to read the ice and shots is what is able to get the offense in a comfortable position to get some shots on goal.
And thank you for that, Mike. So that'll do it for the pregame show here in the Greensboro Ice House. We'll bring you the first period of action between the Panthers and the Tar Heels right after this. And we are back here at the Greensboro Ice House. High Point University Club hockey here. Panthers and the visiting North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm Graham Tuck, as always, joined by Danny Shay tonight for this late night contest between the Panthers and the Tar Heels. And Danny, this ought to be a good one. We've been waiting all day for it.
Absolutely. North Carolina, very high scoring offense. Fantastic team, loaded top to bottom. You look through the roster, there are names on this roster that you can see scoring maybe 2-3 goals a night easily. And on the other end, it's all about the defense. The defense, massive turnaround from last season. The goaltending from Ian Temkin has been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to this one here tonight.
Starting lineup for the High Point Panthers, it's the Marv line. Garrett Escala at center, Johnson and Henry on the wings, and the same starting defensemen as always, Dorian Federer and Sean Egan. And the Panthers possess off the opening face-off, and we're underway here in Greensboro. Tar Heels get it into their attacking zone. Friedman into the corner, had it for a moment. Hogan got it back. Here's Egan behind the net. He'll rim it out. It's kept in at the point by Winfrey, his first game. That one's tipped on net. First save of the night for Ian Temkin. Centered up. Good defensive play that time by Federer. And Henry will look to get it out. Kept in by Zajic, the Austrian, Florian Zajic. Big addition. That one's off the side of the net. That was a good try there for Carolina. Here's a backhanded pass by Johnson trying to clear the zone. Excuse me, that was Henry. Centered up all alone. Here's a chance for the Tar Heels, and the save made by Temkin. Backhand chance off the rebound. Another chance for Hogan, and Temkin will hold on.
Ian Temkin stands tall early. We just mentioned how good this team is in UNC in scoring, and that's been clearly the case so far. We just saw both strengths, the high-octane UNC offense, the strong high-point defense, and Ian Temkin standing strong. Big saves, especially ones quick deflections, shots right in front. Ian Temkin standing strong here early.
Face-off won by the Panthers. Here's Sean McDonald after a complete line change for the Panthers. This one won't quite get out of the zone, but here is Tyler Calkins with the puck now. Nick Fallon and Nick Sasso, the wingers on his line.
Big time from High Point to get the puck out there. Needed to. They were getting swarmed early.
Sabotin with the puck behind the net. Misha Sabotin, the only letter wearer for the Tar Heels team who's dressing tonight. Both of his accompanying leadership members, those being Willis Kendrick Holmes and the captain Henry Foster, both of them injured tonight, out for the game. And out of his crease to play at that time is Lucas Brown, the netminder for Carolina. He's gotten off to a rocky start so far, as that shot from O'Shaughnessy rifled over the crossbar.
Look at the speed from Patrick O'Shaughnessy, blowing right by the Panther defense.
Sasso, another guy with some speed, gets it to Fallon. And Gleason with a quick pass, D to D. This pass is ahead for Carolina, their end of the zone. Here's Vaglia, has Shaughnessy, and Vaglia rifles it off the side of the cage.
Really can't say enough how well Ian Temkin has played so far, not only through the first two games, but so far this game, he's just seen puck after puck after puck, and he stood strong every puck he's seen.
Panthers looking for that first chance in the offensive zone, and Fallon loses his stick trying to put a poke check onto Mahan. He takes a penalty in the process. It's going to be a slash against Fallon, and the Panthers will be shorthanded after this play right here. And the Tar Heels will have their first chance on the power play.
We talked in the pregame how well this High Point penalty kill has been so far. They've been 11 for 11. We've seen them put the puck in the net 3 times on the penalty kill. So looking forward to see what the High Point penalty kill can do here against a loaded UNC power play.
There you see Nick Fallon in the box. So the Panthers down a man. Macheska in to take the draw, can't win it. Tar Heels have possession. Here's Kosowski, far side circles. He is a beast offensively, and Logan Kennedy with a good check there to clear the zone. Winfrey back to play it for the Tar Heels.
Big time. Anything this Panther defense can do to stop this UNC offense, especially on the power play, is ginormous.
1:36 left on the clock here in the power play for the Tar Heels. Drop pass to Hogan at the blue line. Hogan leaves it for his partner Winfrey. Back to Hogan. Brian Hogan takes a shot that's over the crossbar, didn't find its way on goal. Macheska can't quite clear the zone. Tar Heels keep it in. Good positioning from the Panthers defensively. Here's another quick shot that's blocked in front by Egan. Trying to rim it all the way out, can't do so. Here's Hogan, gets it back to Winfrey, fires another shot, and it's blocked in front again. Hogan leaves for Winfrey. A lot of back and forth here between those two. Hogan, back to Winfrey, slap shot, and a save. Temkin with the stick. Puck still loose in the blue paint, and Temkin will fall on top of it.
There's that confidence from Ian Temkin that we've seen through the first 2 games. Like I mentioned before, he is getting absolutely swarmed by this UNC offense tonight. Good puck movement on the back end there from the UNC defense. But great penalty killing here from the Panthers that we've seen through the first 2 games, and we've seen so far through the first minute of this power play.
Sasso takes the draw, can't win it. Here's Zajic to Gleason at the high slot. Down low for O'Shaughnessy. Behind the goal line, here's Leighton Walsh. Back to O'Shaughnessy. High slot again, it's Gleason. Finds O'Shaughnessy. Pass too far out in front of him. Bird couldn't clear the zone though. Here's Sasso, gets it to McDonald, and now the Panthers will dump it down. 25 seconds left on the man advantage for the Tar Heels.
Taking advantage of mistakes, that's what you got to do if you're the high point defense right now. They take advantage of a fumbled puck there, and they were able to clear the zone.
Here's a stretch pass for Zajic. He's got some speed into the zone. Zajic, a very talented defenseman offensively. Slides the puck along to Friedman. Here's Zajic. Here's a shot from the face-off dot, and another big save from Temkin off that one from O'Shaughnessy.
Good
Here's
glove
Walsh.
save.
As the penalty expires, we're back to even strength.
Good glove save there from Ian Temkin. Quick reflexes.
Penalty kill remains flawless so far for the Panthers. A perfect 12 for 12 to start the season. O'Shaughnessy fans on the centering pass, and McDonald clears trouble. That pass batted down by Vaglia, and Gleason back to chase it. Escala in on the forecheck. Only 4 minutes and 50 seconds gone here in the first period, but it feels like the Tar Heels have spent an eternity in the offensive zone.
Feels like High Point's barely had the puck here to start so far.
Tanner to Zajic. Here's a pass breakup that time by Padgett. Good play by the sophomore defenseman.
If you're High Point, you got to take advantage of the fact you just had that kill there. Get some momentum and try to re-swing this game back in your favor. It's been all UNC so far. High Point needs to assert their dominance
McDonald
here.
for Arsenault. The Arsenault twins on the ice now. Here's Shay Arsenault. He'll fire a shot. Doesn't find its way on net. Logan Kennedy puts a shot on goal. First of the night for the Panthers. And this will be dumped out by the Tar Heels, but the arm is up and it's waved off. No icing. Tough break for the Panthers. Walker Ripley puts a move onto Mackay Ashford. Does it again. Walker Ripley. Ooh, gets it ahead. There's a big hit put onto Hunter Arsenault by O'Hare. O'Hare to the slot and a shot from Hogan and a pad save Temkin.
I feel like all we've been saying so far this broadcast is save Temkin, save Temkin, save Temkin. Shows how good, he's been through these first 3 games.
14 minutes left in the first, still scoreless here. There's a centering pass broken up by Hunter Arsenault.
Good positioning there from Hunter Arsenault to be able to pick
Ripley
that puck off.
Gets the red, dumps it in. Shay Arsenault, the lone Panther that stays on the ice here. And now he'll complete the line change. Stretch pass too far in front of Friedman, the intended target. And Egan gets it ahead for Ryan Henry. Drop for Johnson. And here comes Federer. Dorian Federer, and the Panthers are off sides.
All UNC so far. Maybe thought the Panthers would get some momentum there after killing that penalty, but not so much.
Neutral zone draw coming up for the Panthers. Face-off won by the Tar Heels. Winfrey with the puck back in his own zone. Hard to believe that this is a team that started their season 1-3-1. They split a weekend series against the Cincinnati Bearcats, as there's a big hit by Federer as Winfrey tried to get into the zone. Split with Cincinnati, an overtime loss against Denison that same weekend, and then just a weekend ago, they got swept by Kentucky. All of those games on the road. And tonight was supposed to be their first game at home, but due to issues at the Orange County Sportsplex, they find themselves on the road yet again.
Well, we know this team can score. That's not the issue here. It's the goaltending that's been the issue so far for this UNC team. So let's see how the goaltending in Lucas Brown does tonight. He has an 0-2-1 record so far with an .831 save percentage. So maybe tonight a rebound night for him. We know this UNC team can score,
Shots on goal 7-1 so far in favor of the Tar Heels. Here's a centering pass, good stick cancel that time by Johnson. Winfrey high slot, harassed by his numerical counterpart Henry. And this puck stays on side, only for a moment. McDonald poke checks it out of the zone. Winfrey back to play it.
One thing I've noticed so far from this UNC team as well is just how fast they're moving. They're getting up and down the ice very quickly. Going to be tough for this high point defense to contain.
Morgan Bird back to play the puck in his own zone after a bad entry by the Tar Heels. Calkins gets it to the point. Here's a slap shot, tipped in, they score. What a play by Cole Kasowski, the transfer from San Diego State. Gets a great tip on that puck, gets its way behind Timken. It's 1-0 Carolina.
Cole Kasowski finding his way into the slot, able to get his puck on the stick there, and nothing you can do there if you're Ian Temkin. I'm sorry, that is a perfectly placed deflection right in between the wickets of Ian Temkin, and that's what's had to go through to be able to get past Ian Temkin so far, is our plays like that. So the fact that it's taken that much to get past Ian Temkin shows just how well he's been playing as well. Nothing he can do on that one there.
There's a beauty of a deflection from Kasowski, and that's what he adds to this team. This Carolina team lost a lot of players to graduation, and Kasowski, that transfer, a new add this year, he's going to be a big part of their team moving forward. Sasso puts a deflection on the puck, and here comes Calkins. He's all alone. Calkins shot over the crossbar.
That's just unacceptable. You gotta hit the net.
Fallon tries the wraparound. Sorry to cut you off there, Danny, but a high danger chance for the Panthers.
No, you are all good, my friend. You gotta hit the net when you have chances like that. Missing the net like that is just something you can't be doing if you're in all alone like that.
Hogan intercepts a puck at the blue line. Here he comes into the zone. Hogan centered a puck up for Mahan, but he couldn't catch it. Here come the Panthers. Fallon tried to get it out of the zone, and we'll have a whistle. That's a hand pass against Carolina.
Tough break for the Panthers there. Good chance going down the other way. Maybe breaking in yet again. Play stops though.
But the hand pass by Carolina will result in an offensive zone draw for the Panthers. So let's see what Ryan Macheska can do in the face-off circle here. The defensemen behind him, Bird and Olsen. The wingers, Sean Joyce and Dakota Sexton. He faces against Brian Hogan in the face-off dot. Macheska tied up, hits the deck, so does Joyce. And coming away with it are the Tar Heels.
Some extracurricular activities there going on in the face-off circle. After that, some pushing and shoving.
Friedman, a nice saucer for O'Hare, but his shot whistles wide. And O'Hare is a very interesting story. We'll get into his history in a little bit as that shot from Miglior pad save Temkin.
Another good save there from Ian Temkin. He's been all over him tonight.
Already 8 saves so far. Did let the one through on the deflection from Kasowski. And that is where we stand, 1-0 Carolina. Last 2 times these two teams played, they played twice last year. The road team won both contests. High Point won 8-7 in the first meeting in Hillsborough, as the Tar Heels were the home team. And then just a couple of weeks later, the Tar Heels came to town and they took down the Panthers 7-2 on their home ice.
I have a feeling it's going to be a slugfest tonight as well. I don't know about you, Graham.
O'Hare with a good move, a nice little dangle. Here's O'Shaughnessy, takes a shot off the post. Winfrey fires a pass up to the blue line. Sent down low for O'Shaughnessy by Sabotin. To Kasowski. Far side. In the corner now. Bird on him. Sabotin gets it to O'Shaughnessy. Excuse me, that's Kasowski. Kasowski drops it back for O'Shaughnessy. He's taken down by Olsen. Good play by Jack Olsen. Arsenault. Hunter Arsenault turns it over. Sabotin shot. And a save Temkin.
Good play from Jack Olsen to be able to keep the puck behind the net, but it somehow squeaks out. And another big save from Ian Temkin.
Shea Arsenault tried to put a body on Perry Winfrey, and now Shea Arsenault will get it to Logan Kennedy. Kennedy gets the red, dumps it in. Zajic on him. Kennedy lifts the stick of Zajic, but the puck too far out in front of him. Here's Winfrey chipping it along. Carolina just looking a step faster so far. Here's O'Shaughnessy trying to get by McDonald. McDonald, a great job on the back check. And Kasowski tried to center it for Sabotin, was waiting for the 1T, but Kennedy gets there and breaks it up. Sabotin dances around Kennedy. Sabotin at the slot. His shot is blocked by his teammate Kasowski. Edwards tried to chip it on goal, couldn't do so. Here's Hunter Arsenault.
Great back check from Sean McDonald to be able to prevent any high scoring chance there from the UNC Tar Heels to originally begin that rush. but the Panther defense, some more pressures needed on this UNC offense. They're just a step faster, like you just mentioned. Some high pressure could contain them there.
There's a 1T off the bounce off the end boards taken by Vaglia, but Temkin the save. And now the puck in his blue paint, he'll cover it up. 8:36 left to go in the first, 1-0 Carolina.
You think Ian Temkin's tired yet?
That kid never gets tired, it feels like.
He has been outstanding to start this game so far. He is the only reason this game isn't like 5-0 UNC yet. He's played on his head so far. Like we mentioned, nothing he can do about that deflection. That's just a great deflection there, but he's played on his head so far.
There's another deflection opportunity as Miglior slapped it in from the blue line. Here's Ryan Henry. Nice little sauce pass across for Escala, but it's too far out in front of him, and here come the Tar Heels. Clayton Walsh into the zone, drops it for Mahan. Mahan shot, stick save. Temkin got it with the shaft. Miglior tapping for it, high slot. He gets the puck, fires it on goal, and it just nicked off of Temkin's equipment, and it'll be sent back to the corner by the Tar Heels. Johnson picks it up for High Point.
UNC sending a lot of low shots at Temkin. They saw that's how they could beat him the first time because they can't really beat him otherwise.
Here's a one-on-one for Escala. The back check quickly coming for Carolina. That puck off the end boards and ended up in the equipment of Brown. The goalie for Carolina. Now Fallon tied up with Mahan. Here comes Miglior for Carolina. Temkin gloves that, sticks it aside, keeps the play moving. Here's Padgett. Sends it back for Ripley. It's intercepted. Here's a shot from Friedman. And the save made just with the shoulder by Temkin. He'll glove it off the ice.
I want to go back to that one-on-one for a second from Escala there. Do you think that anything having to do, I don't know, maybe I'll rephrase that. So this game obviously is supposed to be a road game for the Panthers. You think coming home, they're going to know those weird bounces. So
oh, absolutely. You know that there's a chance that the inboard takes a funky hop and it ends up on goal. Ended up being a chance
right next to him.
Yeah, it
right next to Brown.
Right next to Brown, a chance where you could have potentially had a shot on goal if somebody was there, but no such chance materializing. They're going to keep taking those shots, though.
And it's going to be a goal like that probably gets High Point back into this game here because it's going to be a funky bounce or something.
And this puck will find its way on goal. But now the Tar Heels the other way. Here's Zajic. Puck caught up in some skates. O'Hare tied up with Sasso, two guys of similar stature. Fallon had a chance to make a break. Here's Sasso, lost it in his feet. And now Hogan past Ripley.
Nick Sasso just overskating that puck there. Could have led to an offensive chance, but here we go the other way.
Here's Nick Fallon. Tries to get it off the boards around Zajic. It's tied up in the corner. Played along by the Tar Heels. Sasso in there. Takes the puck away from Friedman, just imposing his will. Here's Jack Olson. Fires a shot. Puck loose in the slot. Sasso can't get a shot off.
Good play by Olsen just to get pucks on net. When you're feeling all this pressure, you just got to get pucks on net, pucks on net, pucks on net. And especially with Lucas Brown in net, we mentioned the stats earlier. One's going to get by him. You just got to get him to him. Here's
Calkins. He'll backhand it into the zone, get off for a change. Sexton in there in the corner on the forecheck against Gleason, who turns around and moves the puck ahead. For Kasowski, the goal scorer. Kasowski has some nifty moves in his arsenal, and he'll send that puck through the crease. And now Sexton in there in the corner to take it away from him.
Good play by Cole Kasowski, coming in with a lot of speed, able to get past that Panther defense.
Olsen sends it along in the corner. Here's Macheska taking it away. 5:45 left in the first. 1-0 Tar Heels is the score. Gleason sends it back to the neutral zone where Olsen will fire it deep after the Panthers touch up. Joyce in there on the forecheck. Macheska as well, two Jersey boys. Here comes O'Shaughnessy, 2-on-2. Has Jack Olson, good stick lift. O'Shaughnessy gets it back though. Dances around Macheska, sends it to Gleason. Gleason's shot blocked by his teammate Sabotin. Here's Kasowski. From the circle, his shot saved by Temkin. Back to Edwards at the blue line off the glass. Kasowski keeps it in, backhands it for Sabotin, but too far in front. Here's Shea Arsenault with some speed. Shea sends it all the way in. Can't get around Gleason. Bodies for position. He's shoved into the corner by Gleason. O'Shaughnessy comes away with the puck. Sabotin gets it. In front for Edwards. Gains the red, dumps it in.
Play starting to get a little more physical here between these two teams.
Puck off the boards for Hunter Arsenault. That pass found its way off the shin of Leighton Walsh. Temkin has to play it, gets it off the boards to McDonald. Turns around, fires a hit to the backside of a Tar Heel. That was Vaglia. Here's a 3-on-1 for the Panthers. 3-on-2, excuse me. Bird lost control of it. Walsh gets back in the play, but here's McDonald. Arsenault takes a hit that time. Here's Bird firing a puck to the net, and it's blocked in front. Henry back in the neutral zone. 4:12 left to go here in the first. Shots on goal, a whopping 16-1 in favor of UNC so far. Here's Vaglia, drops for Mahan, bodies off Henry. Mahan still with the puck at the circles. His puck is passed through the crease, but nobody home. And now Megan back for it. Escala off the bench. Vaglia slides it across. Tanner gets it back. Here's Mahan. Tries to get by Pageant. That pass too far behind O'Shaughnessy. Johnson near side. Sends it back to Ripley. Good stretch pass. It's batted up into the air. Henry's in on sides. Here comes Ryan Henry. Good play from Ashford to time up. This is a penalty coming up against the Tar Heels. Johnson sends it back to the point. Temkin to the bench for the extra man. Here comes Walker Ripley. Fires a shot and is blocked. Henry with a race to the puck to keep it in possession. 6-on-5. Here's Ripley, a shot, and it's deflected just wide by Johnson. Here's Escala. Back to the point for Ripley. Sends it down to Sasso. Sasso fires a shot, save made, and the Tar Heels will touch it up.
That's what the Panthers needed right there. Shots and on shots on shots. And Ryan Henry, what a way to draw a penalty there. A big-time power play for this Panther offense. Maybe it's their chance to finally get back into this game.
And we shall see. In the box, it's Micaiah Ashford. Panther power play, first chance of the night.
Like I mentioned before also, Graham, these teams starting to get a little more physical. We're seeing those open ice hits. We're seeing some more physical play along the boards. That's going to be another thing to keep an eye on as well.
Fallon set to take the draw for the power play unit. 2:53 left in the first. Panthers down by 1. 2 power play goals in their last game. Both of their goals against Wake Forest on the man advantage. Both of them scored by Morgan Bird. Here's Sean Egan. Kennedy, Calkins, Hunter Arsenault, and Nick Fallon, the 5 on the ice for the man advantage unit. Sharp pass by Calkins is broken up, but Egan gets it back. Egan back to Hunter Arsenault. Hunter down for Fallon. He'll take a shot that's blocked by Gleason, and this is a penalty coming up against, let's see who.
Believe that's going to be on the Panthers.
I think so too. It looks like it's Nick Fallon who is sent to the box. That's his second penalty of the period, and it ends a very short-lived power play for the Panthers. We're back to 4-on-4.
Well, if you're the Panthers here, you're obviously getting dominated in the shot category. It's just not the time to be taking penalties. You finally got a power play on the man up, looking to finally get back into this game. It's not a good penalty at a good time. Second penalty of the period, like you mentioned, that the Panthers have taken, so not a way to get back into a hockey game. As we see the Panthers control and that play off the face-off, but quickly out.
Over the glass, out of play. So we'll have 1:23 of 4-on-4 before a brief power play for the Tar Heels, and by brief, I mean about 31 seconds. Face-off won by Escala, quickly Sasso the other way into the attacking end. Tried to get around Zajic, but he stands him up in the neutral zone. Here's Winfrey. With some speed now, it's Hogan. Hogan into the zone. Sasso breaks that pass up. Hogan gets it back around Escala. Centers a pass up for Friedman on the back door looking for the 1T. Couldn't tap it home, and McDonald sent to the ice with some force by Zajic. This is a penalty against the Tar Heels.
And just like that, another door opens itself for the Panthers to get back into this game. But there's more of that speed from UNC that's been displayed this period. just flying around this Panther defense, obviously creating the chance with the pass across, but not past Ian Temkin.
So this is interesting. The door hasn't opened to the penalty box for the Tar Heels, and the officials are now conferring. This should be a 4-on-3 power play for the Panthers. Oh, they may be sending someone off. I saw the signal, but the door opens for Zajic.
Is Zajic getting some extra time here?
I don't think so, because if so, he wouldn't have been sent to the box. But I did see the signal from the official, contact to the head. So normally that carries a little bit extra. I also saw him motion to the locker room.
And Zajic does not look happy either.
I mean, it's the right call there, but clearly the right call. But the fact that Zajic stands in the penalty box for the moment tells me that he's not done for the night. I'm a bit confused by this, but we'll see what comes of it.
Well, the hit came upstairs, so
sure.
That's definitely the reason that they're debating this here. But it looks like to me Zajic's in the box.
It's 5 up on the board. So it's a 4-on-3 for now that will go to a 4-on-4 before becoming a major power play for the Panthers.
Graham, I'd be lost without you.
Here's Morgan Bird with the puck for the Panther power play. Bird
Panthers
around the boards for Johnson.
Panthers need to take advantage of this here. They had one, lost it, they got it back. It's a gift.
Sasso centered it up, nobody home. Being it a 4-on-3 and not a 5-on-4. Johnson hits the deck. Miglior puts one on net. Temkin makes a save, and this is a slash against Johnson. And this is getting more and more interesting. The hook is the call. So Johnson to the box for 2 minutes. We're going to play 3-on-3, and no, this is not overtime.
I mean, I don't know what's going on here. This is kind of like back and forth and back and forth. The Panthers, 2 golden opportunities with a power play to get back into this game. They got a gift of a 5-minute major being handed down. And what do? They come back out and take another penalty to go back to even strength.
Well, the Panthers will still have a power play at the end of this, given they don't take another penalty. It just is dwindling down in terms of the time that they'll have a man advantage. McDonald, far side boards, good poke check by the Tar Heels to keep it in the zone. Here's McDonald, this is a 2-on-1 potentially. Henry gets in, cuts to the slot, had the puck roll up on him, and here's another chance for the Tar Heels the other way. O'Shaughnessy with the puck, and his shot, stick save, Temkin, good hit by Egan. And out of the box is Ashford, onto the ice comes Sabotin, and it's a brief power play for the Tar Heels before Fallon is released from the box. O'Hare, 20 seconds left on the man advantage, slides a pass across, it's loose, and clearing the zone is Ryan Henry.
What a play from Ryan Henry to clear that puck out. That's just great defense, and that's been that's been the strength of this High Point team so far. Their penalty killing.
And Fallon out of the box. We're at 4-on-4 now. And looking for Nick Fallon. That puck was deflected, so no icing. 12 seconds left in the period. A minute left in 4-on-4. O'Shaughnessy, one last chance for the Heels. Gets it ahead to Sabotin. 5 seconds left. Sabotin, nice toe drag. Sabotin still with the puck. 1 second left, though. He won't be able to get a shot off, and that'll do it for the first period.
It's been the speed of the North Carolina Tar Heels that have just blown by this Panther defense, and it's shown. They got pucks on net, but Ian Temkin, another big story of this period, he stood on his head for this Panther team.
Absolutely, he did. We'll take a brief break and then bring you an interview between Garrett Escala and Mike Guerriere, and we'll be back with that in just a moment.
I'm here. Gala, after the first period, going down 1-0, what is the attitude going into the locker room?
I mean, right now, all we're thinking is positive right now. Only 1-0. We took a couple penalties back out. We're going to have like a 2-minute, 30-second power coming in. So we're just looking to put on the board here.
Now, UNC is a tough opponent and a really tough rivalry to have within North Carolina. What does a matchup like this mean for you?
It means a lot for me, especially last year when I got my concussion against them. So this is definitely a revenge for me. And just for the whole team, they don't like us after we beat them at home. So it's definitely a rivalry match, and, we're coming out.
Well, we have a lot of hockey left. I'm Mike Guerriere with Garrett Escala, and we're going to go back up to the booth with Graham and Danny.
Thank you for that, Mike, and we'll bring you the second period of action here in just a little bit. 13 minutes left on the intermission clock, and Danny, let's talk really quickly about what happened in that first period. It just looked like the Panthers were simply being outskated by the Tar Heels.
I mentioned it a few times during the broadcast there. The speed of this North Carolina team is so prevalent. They're just flying around the high point defense here. But let's talk about Ian Temkin also. He has made some outstanding saves so far in this first period. Scrums in front of the net, good shots that have been tipped. The one goal, obviously, nothing you can do about that. That's just a fantastic deflection. But Ian Temkin, I mean, what a period from him.
17 saves in the first period for Temkin. Only 2 had to be made by his counterpart, Lucas Brown, in net for the Tar Heels. And for the Panthers, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Danny, but I feel like the mentality has to just be getting pucks on net.
Absolutely. And when I talked to Jack Olson earlier today, and I said, how do you beat a goalie in Lucas Brown? He said that you got to get shots and you got to put extreme pressure on an offensive heavy team. That's how you're going to win. You get shots on net. They know he's a weaker goaltender. The stats have proven that this year. One or hopefully a few will get through. So shots. That's all it's going to take for this Panther team to get back into it, and they have a great opportunity coming with a later power play.
Absolutely, they do. It's going to be a major power play. They've taken it off the board for the intermission, but like Escala said, it's going to be about 2.5 minutes of major power play after about a minute or so of 4-on-4 when we come back, and that second period should be very exciting. And for the Panthers, they've got to try to make this job easier for Ian Temkin and make the job a lot harder for Lucas Brown. We'll take a break and be back with the second period of action after this. back here for the second period of action at the Greensboro Ice House, and we're back here to High Point Hockey. 4-on-4 to start the period. That puck trickles in on the goaltender, Lucas Brown. Here's a chance out in front. The Panthers put a shot on quickly. Shay Arsenault with the first high-danger chance of the night for High Point.
So complete opposite start of the last period.
Oh, absolutely.
We got a shot in the first minute here. That's ginormous for this Panther team. Now they're going to go to the power play in about 33 seconds here. We have that 4-on-4 open ice, create some chances here. Let's see what High Point can take advantage with here. 2.5
minutes of major power play time set to come up for the Panthers in about 25 seconds. Here comes Hogan for the Panthers, for the Tar Heels, I should say. Panthers on the back check, Morgan Bird. Hogan gets around him, there's a shot on, and Temkin sent it aside, and Hogan crashing in takes the net off its moorings.
There's more of that speed that we were just talking about in the intermission there. It's that North Carolina speed, getting around the defense. That's what's created chances. That's going to keep creating chances for this North Carolina team. They've created a ton tonight, a ton of shots at Ian Temkin. Another big save there from him as well.
Hunter Arsenault set to take the draw. His twin brother, Shay, the other winger, Morgan Bird, and Sean McDonald, the 4-on-4 defense pairing. Arsenault wins the draw. Bird sends it D to D for McDonald. McDonald has a lot of speed, gets it to Shay Arsenault. Shay fires a shot from the blue line, and it's gloved by Brown for a faceoff.
I know not a lot happening there, but there's that speed that High Point needs to counter with. We've seen the UNC speed all night. Let's let High Point have some of that speed, create some chances of their own. They're going to have plenty of time to create chances here as they're about to go on the power play in 5 seconds and have 2 minutes and 30 seconds of power play time themselves.
And the power play line already on the ice. Johnson set to be free from the box. Sasso wins the draw. Here's Tyler Calkins. Sends it to the corner. 1 second and none, and now Johnson out of the box. McDonald can't keep it in. This was sent before the penalty expired, so this is icing against the Tar Heels. 2:25 left on the penalty, the major penalty to Florian Zajic.
Time for High Point to shine. They've had the power play chances. What have they done? They've taken penalties of their own right away to counter. They finally have 2 minutes and 25 seconds of power play time of their own. Let's see what they can do here to generate some chances themselves. They need to stay out of the box here.
Absolutely. 2:25, as mentioned, left on the power play clock. The 5 on the ice as the officials have a little conference about whether or not it should have been icing. I think they made the right call on the ice, but we'll see. Escala set to take the face-off. Henry and Johnson on the near side, Sasso and Bird on the far side. Johnson and Bird closer to the blue line.
It's staying down here as it should be.
Escala can't win the face-off. He's been excellent in the circle so far this year. Can't keep his pace up there. Here's O'Shaughnessy, good stick check from Johnson. Henry drops it for Sasso, who gets into the zone clean. Good stick check again by Sabotin. Sasso holds up in the corner, turns back around, had a stick lifted by Gleason. Henry, far corner. Back to the point for Bird. Across D to D for Johnson. Fires a shot on net, deflection from Sasso, just wide of the post, and that can't be kept in by Johnson. Sasso with his big body down there all alone, and he put a deflection on, just couldn't get it on net. Here's Henry in his own zone. 1:46 left on the power play clock.
We got to keep our eye out for Morgan Bird here. Scored 2 power play goals. Both goals of the Wake Forest game.
There's Bird committing a turnover. O'Shaughnessy picked it off at the blue line, but couldn't keep it in the zone. 1.5 minutes left on the penalty to Zajic. Henry, got to get something started here. Sends it to Johnson. Escala to Bird, around Walsh, played along by Johnson. Here's Sasso off the boards, nice nifty pass, but it's too far out in front of Bird, who keeps it in the zone. Good play from Bird. Centered it up for Escala, charging in. Here's Johnson, keeps it in. Nice little toe drag to get around his man originally, Walsh. Here is Bird, sends it to the slot, and then slapped out by the Tar Heels. 1 minute even left on the power play now. Charging in is Walsh, gets around Johnson, nobody back for the Panthers. O'Hare's all alone. Johnson needs help, sends it down, and a good block that time by the Panthers. Couldn't see who got a stick to it. Was either McDonald or Johnson. 45 seconds left on the man advantage. Here comes Calkins. Calkins with speed at the circle, sends it to the slot, and too far out in front of Hunter Arsenault. Henry can't keep it in. Johnson goes off for the change, and it'll leak out into the defensive zone for High Point.
30 seconds left on this power play. High Point needs to get into the zone here and generate at least one more scoring chance. Take advantage of the man up.
And that puck over the netting and out of play with 21 ticks left on the power play clock. Popcorn Houston.
UNC continuing that high-speed pressure. We saw it right there in the Panthers' defensive zone. Had a man wide open if UNC controls that puck. Another good scoring chance lost by the Tar Heels.
Egan up against Hogan in the corner. 10 seconds left on the power play. Kennedy is at the red line. Here comes Hunter Arsenault. He's got some mitts on him. Trying to get around Friedman. Holds up. Wraps it all the way around to the other side. Zajic out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Here's Friedman. Puck still in the slot. Broken up by the Panthers defense. Here's Tyler Calkins. Got to get something moving here if you're High Point. 16 and a half left in the second. Only down by 1, but it could easily be a lot worse.
Yeah. Ian Temkin's the one to thank for that one.
Per usual there, Ian Temkin continuing his solid pace so far this season. O'Hare in the corner. We'll touch on him at the next dead puck. He's a very interesting story. Nearly had an assist there, but a good breakup by Tyler Calkins in the slot. Calkins tried to get it to Kennedy, but taken away by O'Shaughnessy. And then Kosowski lost it to Arsenault.
O'Shaughnessy with great speed there.
Big hit on a Kosowski. There you go. Light to see the body being thrown around by Hunter Arsenault. Small in stature, big in power. Here he comes into the zone. Arsenault fires a shot. Blocker save made by Brown.
Get some energy back into this High Point lineup with a big hit like that. We saw right away a good scoring chance for the Panthers from the hit that created that chance for them.
Panthers are offside. They got to touch up, and they won't. So this puck is being sent back to the Panthers defensive zone. But I mentioned Dan O'Hare. We got to talk about him for just a moment.
We do.
He's a graduate student from the U.S. Naval Academy. He played 4 years of ACHA hockey at the Naval Academy between, hear this, 2011 and 2015. He's 30 years old, playing out his 5th year of eligibility in the ACHA as a grad student from Walpole, Massachusetts with the North Carolina Tar Heels. He found himself in the starting lineup tonight. And not only is he still out there playing with the young guns, he has a career of 1.13 points per game.
Well, that was at the Naval Academy.
At the Naval Academy, but even since then, if you factor in the 5 games he's played since coming to Carolina, still over a point per game lifetime, which is absurd. Even more absurd than that is here's a chance materializing for the Tar Heels, and the Panthers will clear it out. In his 4 years at the Naval Academy, 201 penalty minutes to his credit. That's 3 hours and 21 minutes of penalty time over the course of 4 years. That is insanity.
That is a textbook definition of a goon.
Club hockey at its finest. Here's O'Shaughnessy for the Tar Heels. Lost it in the slot. Nick Sasso backhands it into the netting. Out of play. We'll have a draw. 14:44 left to go. Second period, still 1-0 Tar Heels. Shots on goal starting to trend maybe a little bit more in favor of the Panthers than in the first period. They've outshot the Tar Heels 3-2 since coming back from the break.
Well, we've finally seen the Panthers settle down a little bit. I think they were overwhelmed by the UNC speed early. They settled down. They know what they got themselves into now. And Ian Temkin, like we've mentioned so many times during this broadcast, has played absolutely phenomenal tonight.
Here's Ripley in the near corner, finds his partner Pageant. That puck up into the air was looking for Sasso, backhanded around Henry. Sexton onto the ice for him. Little bit of a line mashup here. Sexton, Escala, and Sasso, the forwards on the ice for High Point, all listed as different lines in the pregame lineup card. Here's Sasso into the zone, has Sexton. Sasso, nice little move. Sasso shot and scores! Panthers tie it up. Nick Sasso.
What a shot from Nick Sasso right over the shoulder of Lucas Brown. And what did I say? You got to get shots. One's eventually going to go in. What do? Put a puck on a net right over the shoulder of Lucas Brown. What a play from Nick Sasso.
Look at the freshman getting his 3rd goal of the year. He takes the lead in that department for the Panthers. And he has been massive for the Panthers in this early season. That is a big, big goal.
And the Panthers are right back in this game. What do? They're overwhelmed by the UNC speed early. They give one up. They're overwhelmed with shots. They counter with some physical play. What does the physical play lead to? A scoring chance. They throw shots at Lucas Brown. We mentioned the stats haven't quite been there for Lucas Brown this year. And they get a goal, and they tie this game right back up. And this place went absolutely nuts for that goal. What a play by Nick Sasso.
Lucas Brown, 2 starts so far, 3 games played. He came in relief of Joel Hughes in one of those games. He's got an 0-2-1 record to his credit. Hughes got the win, the lone win for the Tar Heels so far this season. But Brown's stats, .831 save percentage and a 4.19 goals against coming into tonight. So obviously not the best look that time for Brown in the previous games. But now here come the Tar Heels into the attacking zone. Hogan got it in onside, not quite around Calkins. McDonald back in his own zone. Sexton trying to strip Hogan. Here comes Friedman, centers it up. Nice little saucer, but Federer clearing the slot and not all the way out of the zone though.
Good response from UNC here right after the goal to get right back into the offensive zone.
O'Hare sent it deep for Friedman. McDonald a good play, but Sexton couldn't get it out. Here's a tip. Megan sent it deep, but Friedman couldn't get the tip on goal.
More of those low shots.
Here's a nice saucer. Megan's shot over the crossbar.
More of those low shots coming in from UNC to try to beat Temkin with a deflection.
Here comes McDonald. McDonald, the rest of the Panthers are tired. He'll send it deep and get off. The Arsenault and Kennedy line on the ice now. Arm up. This is icing against Carolina. And you talked about it in the intermission, Danny. I brought it up initially, but the mentality for the Panthers, we said, had to be getting shots on net. Doesn't matter what kind of shots they are. You got to just throw pucks at Lucas Brown. And that's exactly what Sasso did. He got into the zone, put a shot on net, and it just happened to leak through.
And it was a perfectly placed shot, might I add, right over the shoulder of Lucas Brown. Beats him upstairs in what I like to call the toy department. Fantastic shot from Nick Sasso. And that's a big goal. They were getting overwhelmed by UNC. The speed, the constant pressure down deep. A goal like that resets the mind. Hey, we're back in this game. It's tied. Let's go win a period here.
Here's Shay Arsenault. He'll take a shot, and that's gloved easily by Brown. 12:21 left on the clock here in this second period. Panthers have evened things up, and there you see Hunter Arsenault motioning to his twin. You see him there in the frame. Slow things down a little bit. That's what Arsenault's trying to do right there with that shot. Slow things down, get a draw so you can set up your offense. Kennedy, the Arsenaults, Bird, and Olsen on the ice for the High Point Panthers. Here comes Sabotin. Kosowski, the goal scorer for Carolina, drops for Winfrey. They score. Temkin had it, but lost it. Trickles in, and it's a 2-1 lead for Carolina.
Well, that's just a great response from the Tar Heels there. They give up the goal. High Point feels that they're back into this game. What do? They come right back down the ice. More of that speed. They put a puck past Temkin, and they're back in the lead. It's 2-1 here.
Tough to see when you saw the momentum start to shift a little bit, but hey, still a 1-goal game in anybody's game. High Points prove that they can score, and they're on the board. But Perry Winfrey, his first game in a Tar Heel uniform, and Winfrey, he spent 3 years at the University of Maine playing at the D1 NCAA level, not D1 ACHA or CHF, NCAA hockey. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time, transfers back down to his home state, North Carolina, and in his first game back on the ice, he scores for the North Carolina Tar Heels and gives them the lead against High Point. Here's Sabotin quickly back into the zone, and Temkin again struggles with the glove on that save, made it, but couldn't control it. They're back into the zone, are the Tar Heels. Good stick check from Padgett. There's a shot off the end boards, rebound chance back for Sabotin. Temkin lost his stick. Walker Ripley gives him his. That shot blocked in front of the net. Sabotin gets it from Miglior, drops for Kosowski, and on the near side boards, Escala lost it to O'Shaughnessy, and it gets away from Miglior. Here comes Calkins, a race for the puck with Zajic, and he can't beat him. Excuse me, that was Henry, not Calkins. Sabotin back to O'Shaughnessy, fires a shot, good block by Padgett, and Padgett shoved from behind by O'Shaughnessy after the play. 11:28, we'll have a face-off in the defensive zone for the Panthers.
Not sure if it's anything to keep an eye on or not. May just be an equipment issue, but Perry Winfrey, right after that goal, went right off the UNC bench. He's behind the UNC bench right now. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe something to keep an eye on.
And something else to note for High Point is that I do not see the captain, Sean Egan, on the bench. He appears to be wrapped up a little bit off to the side, yet to see if he'll return to this game. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Walsh in the corner. Gleason off the inboards. Calkins. Sasso calling for the puck. He was behind everybody, but the Panthers couldn't get it to him. Pass off the end board. Sexton gets it near side. Lost it to Walsh. Here come the Tar Heels. Walsh couldn't get around Federer. Puck in the slot, and Vaglia couldn't poke it home. Bird lost it. Here's Sasso. Gets it to Bird.
Nice little redirect right off the skate to Bird there.
Mahan to Walsh. Into the zone. On to Temkin. He'll glove it. And Walsh doing a good job to stay clear of Temkin there. We're about halfway through this one. 10:33 left in the second. And it's a 2-1 lead for the Tar Heels.
Busy first half of the second period, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Compared to that first, without a doubt. Shots on goal 21-7 in favor of Carolina here.
Ever since the High Point goal, Carolina's just countered with that speed. I know I've mentioned it so many times, it's probably annoying to hear me say at this point, but
it's
so prevalent.
Absolutely. You can't not mention it.
Exactly.
Well, here's the other way. Hogan with some speed gets around Kennedy into the zone. Gets by McDonald as well. These Tar Heels have got some mitts on them, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. So do the Panthers, though.
Oh, without a doubt. And here's one of them. Here's Arsenault.
Here we go.
Shea Arsenault gets in. Shea Arsenault shot over the crossbar. Tried to pick a corner, and he did. He just missed it.
There's the speed, though. We see it right there. What does the speed do? Breaks the defense. Get right past them, and what happens? Good scoring chance.
Good defensive positioning for the Panthers here. McDonald doesn't let Hogan past them. O'Hare covered by Olsen in the slot. There's a wrap chance for Hogan, and Temkin stands up to the task. 9:38 left, and
a little extra
Shea Arsenault
after.
Lost his bucket, and Kennedy's going to give a shove. So does Jack Olsen on to Noah Friedman. And I believe Olsen's going to get a penalty from this.
It's a tough penalty to take if you're Jack Olsen there.
But you got to stick up for your guy, don't you? Olsen's gone. I disagree with that. I vehemently disagree with that call.
So do I. I mean, the shove after the play is completely unnecessary to begin with. Olsen's just coming in, sticking up for his teammates. He's headed to the locker room. Not happy about it either. Very angry with it.
Sticking up for your teammate who's lost his helmet and takes a hit after the play, and you'd get the only penalty assessed, and it's a major, you're done for the game. I disagree. Very, very strongly disagree with that call.
And that's a big loss for this Panther team because they're running 7 defensemen here tonight.
You're down to just 5 now with Egan out of the
Yes,
game.
that's also true. I totally missed that for a second. Yeah, you're only down to 5 defensemen now. You went from running 7 defensemen to 5. That's huge.
And it's going to be a power play for the Tar Heels. Still no time left up on the clock in terms of penalty time. 9:36 on the clock here, still sorting things out. Who's going to serve the penalty? It's going to be Fallon. Five minutes up on the board. Fallon's number is on the board. It's not to Fallon, it's to Olsen. But it's a 5-minute major power play for the Tar Heels, and this could be killer. But the Panther penalty kill has done well so far. We'll see what happens here. Escala gets it into the zone. Sasso, the other forward. Ripley and Padgett, the penalty killing defenseman. This is a crucial juncture in this game. Into the zone with speed, O'Shaughnessy. Holds up, gets it to Sabotin. 30 seconds gone on the power play. Nice pass break up there. And there's a shot that's covered by Temkin.
Ian Temkin's about to be the biggest penalty killer of the Panthers defense right now.
Absolutely, you always are as the goaltender, but even more so here. You're down by just one. You've been facing an unrelenting offense, and they have 5 minutes of continuous power play time. It continues here with Winfrey. Winfrey drops to Kosowski. The two goal scorers working together as that puck is sticked out of play by Pageant. A great stick by the sophomore defender.
Good breakup too, because you saw the Tar Heel right there next to the net. Had a wide open net if that pass gets through.
Hunter Arsenault set to take the draw, can't win it. Here's Hogan. He's been electric so far tonight. Nothing on the score sheet, but you got to figure it might not be long. Here's Kosowski. Drops for Hogan. Fires a pass. Good breakup by Bird. Can it clear the zone? Not quite yet. Arsenault backhands it out. What a strong play from Hunter Arsenault there.
Great play from Hunter Arsenault. Big clear as well. You got to give these penalty killers as much rest as possible. And the clears do indeed do that. But the high point penalty kill looking strong here so far.
Drop pass for Hogan. He gets it in. Onside. O'Hare fires a saucer pass, and a good one at that, off the boards. Finds Sabotin. Puts a little hezzy on. Drops it to the corner for Hogan. Now Winfrey high slot. Sends a pass down. Kosowski. Good pass breakup by McDonald. And the Panthers slap it out of the zone. Good
Big
clear.
time clear from the Panther defense. That could have been deadly.
3:20 left to go in the major power play. Just under 8 to play in the second. Here's Winfrey. Up the middle of the ice. Turned around to Hunter Arsenault. Here's Kosowski. Nice pass. Walsh couldn't get a stick to it. Friedman, opposite corner. Winfrey gets off for a line change. Here come the Tar Heels. Nice wrap chance, but Temkin not fooled by that. Zajic onto the ice. He sends it to Gleason. Gleason back to Zajic. Those two play and catch a little more. Gleason fires it down to Walsh. O'Shaughnessy takes a stick out of Arsenault's hand. That puck tipped on net. Temkin keeps it out. That was a very odd-looking play.
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, Graham, I have no idea what just happened.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, like, I am so confused as to what that just was. But it was almost in the net. But yet again, the story of the night, Ian Temkin stands strong.
And the penalty kill continues to stand strong. This major power play nearly halfway up. 2:38 left on the clock here in that power play. And we're going to have a wholesale line change for High Point.
Can't quite make out what the coaching staff is yelling to the players on the ice, but they're saying something. And now they're talking to the ref. Should this face-off maybe not even be here? Because I saw him point out of the zone, but I might be wrong.
That's what Coach Starcher wanted to happen. I can't think off the top of my head as to a reason why this face-off would come outside the zone, but Coach Starcher was very adamant in his opinion on that matter. Here's McDonald out of the zone regardless.
Yeah, Panthers get it out anyway. Big time clear. Get out of whatever that just was.
2:22 left on the penalty. Just under 7 to go in the period. Good check that time by Escala, but McDonald whiffs on the clearance. That puck stick behind the net of Temkin by Friedman. Friedman in the corner. McDonald on him. He slides it to O'Shaughnessy, turns it over to Sasso, and then Escala slaps it out of the zone. Sasso had his stick tied up by O'Shaughnessy. Potentially a one-on-one. Good play by O'Shaughnessy to keep that chance from materializing for Sasso, who already has 2 shorthanded goals to his credit this season.
Great defensive pressure from this High Point penalty kill. Not only in the defensive zone, but as well as mid-ice.
1:41 left on the penalty. Here we go. Gleason high slot. Still nothing yet for the power play unit for Carolina. Here's a shot stick save. Temkin, and it's into the netting. And big stick taps from the High Point bench.
Well, what did I say when the power play started? Ian Temkin's about to be the biggest penalty killer of all the penalty killers on the ice for the High Point Panthers, and he's proven me right so far.
Federer and the Arsenaults, as well as Tyler Calkins on the ice for High Point with 1.5 minutes left on this power play. 6:07 left in the second. This is a big juncture for this game between the Tar Heels and the Panthers.
Well, the Arsenault twins, I feel like, have been all over the ice tonight. Their speed has been huge for this High Point team to counter the UNC speed. And a big clear right there.
And this one will end up on goal. That's a SOG for Carolina. Nice little move there by Kosowski. Heels into the zone. Here's Sabotin. Good check that time by Federer.
Good physical play from the Panthers here.
Shay gets the puck away from a Tar Heel, and now Kosowski lets it leak out of the zone. Kosowski, under a minute left on the power play. Kosowski gets in, his shot save, Temkin.
Big time for Ian Temkin. Great play. The mitts, you see the little in and out move to get to Temkin, but he stands strong in net yet again.
Yeah, that guy Kosowski, he can do what he wants with the puck.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Kosowski, his career at San Diego State, 15 games played, 9 goals, 20 assists. Good for almost 2 points per game in that time out on the West Coast. That is some real deal skill.
Well, Cole Kosowski's been all over the ice tonight as well. He has the deflection goal.
A beauty of a deflection at that. Friedman with the puck in the corner as we approach 5 to play in the second. That shot, sharp angle. It's blocked down by a High Point defender. Don't think it got to Temkin. 33 seconds left in the major power play. Kosowski drops for Winfrey, the other goal scorer. That shot not on net. Here's Sabotin. This puck all the way to the near side. Here's Kosowski. He'll hold up. Escala. In on the check. Winfrey couldn't get it on net, and now Kennedy clears it out.
What a kill from the Panthers here. What
10
a
seconds
kill.
left, and Brown gets it to Winfrey. This is massive for High Point.
This could be
this momentum.
this
Here's
could be-
Kosowski.
This could be a huge turning point in this hockey game.
Here's a chance for Carolina, up over the crossbar, and we're back to 5-on-5. Fantastic penalty kill, which remains flawless on the season for the Panthers.
Well, that's a huge sigh of relief for Jack Olson, too, who knows he can't be back out on the ice anymore. Didn't cause his team any damage. Huge sigh of relief from Jack. As well as his High Point team, because that's a long kill to an offense that's been dominating this game so far. And what did they do? They shut him right down. And here
here's
we
a
go.
chance, 3-on-1 for the Panthers. Kennedy leads the charge, and they're offsides. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I agree with that in the slightest.
The High Point bench definitely does not agree, I'll tell you that much. And the ref told him as soon as he called it to not say a word. That's
a killer.
Because right off the penalty kill into a 3-on-1, that could have been ginormous for this High Point team. And what happens? The ref says, not today.
They're taking it out of their hands at that point. Here's Mahan the other way on the backhand shot off the stick of Temkin. He'll cover it up and hold on. He doesn't care about the call. He's going to do his thing regardless. 3:58 left in the period. And it's still a 2-1 game in favor of the Heels.
I don't have any more words to describe how good Ian Temkin has played tonight. He has been absolutely outstanding, the rock of this Panther team for sure.
And when you think about the fact that this is the guy who was the number 2 for High Point all last season until the end stages, Michael Ohlweiler is still coming back at some point. And he is just as good, every bit as good as Ian Temkin. So you think about that tandem, and then the freshman talent, which we haven't even seen yet. Going forward, there's a bright future for the Panthers in net between those 5.
Absolutely, and when the whole storyline of this game was going to be the Panther defense versus the UNC offense, and so far, yes, the UNC offense may have a 1-goal lead, but Ian Temkin has been absolutely phenomenal against a high-octane offense that we know can put the puck in the back of the net at high numbers.
Absolutely, and plays just like that one that just happened. That block from McDonald up and out of play. The Panthers have been so good this season at blocking shots. They have been fantastic, and they're making the job easier on Ian Temkin, which was one of the things we said at the end of the period.
Last year, the Panther defense allowed 7 or more goals 11 times.
Including both games against Carolina.
I was just about to say that. So going into this game, this just shows how much of a 180 this defense has taken in the past year. And that's due to the freshman help. It's due to the coaching staff who's putting an emphasis on defense, and it's showing especially tonight. Like I said, the Panthers, yes, they're down a goal, but you have to take this as a moral victory because this defense has played absolutely outstanding tonight.
And you're still in this game with just under 3 to play in the second. Down by just 1. Fallon was behind everybody, but Carolina gets the puck back. Winfrey near side boards. Takes a hit from Sasso, who has the goal for High Point. We'll talk to him at the intermission. Kosowski takes it for Carolina, checked by Federer. This leaks out into the neutral center of the ice, and Sasso was ready for a break, but Fallon couldn't get it to him. This is a nice little saucer pass for O'Shaughnessy. Good stick from Bird.
Fantastic stick from Morgan Bird to break up what could have been another good chance for this UNC team.
Fallon nearly had a break, but he couldn't settle the puck on his tape. Here's a slap pass from O'Shaughnessy, and he lost it. Good stick from Fallon. Kosowski bodying off a couple of Panthers, but Bird takes it away.
Kosowski, we were just talking before, he has the mitts to be able to get through this Panther defense. Good double team there to make sure he can't go anywhere.
Kennedy takes the puck away in the corner, couldn't find Fallon. Puck back into neutral ice, slapped right back in by the Panthers. Bird off the boards to Fallon. This is onside somehow, but the Tar Heels take the puck away regardless. This is Edwards who loses it. Walsh gets it back briefly. Pageant slaps it to the corner. Has O'Hare on him. O'Hare all the way around. Backhand shot. And it's a save by Temkin. I thought that one may have found its way in.
I thought that was behind Temkin for a second, but big time save from Temkin yet again.
And there's a stick from Temkin to clear that. One-timer, and it's off the end boards.
Another low shot from UNC. They're looking for those deflections. They know it beat Temkin once, and they've been doing it ever since to try to repeat it. Good physical play along the boards right there as well to free up that puck.
Ripley couldn't get it all the way ahead to his teammate, but he collects the puck at the red line, sends it deep. That took an odd bounce off the boards. Here's O'Hare with the puck. Oh, this is a potential break for Carolina. Here's Walsh. Friedman could not stretch to stay on side. And we'll take a break. 42 seconds left in the period.
High Point has a chance, broken up by an offsides. UNC has another glorious chance. What does it do? Another offsides as well. 2 big scoring chances, 1 for each team, that were denied due to offsides.
O'Shaughnessy wins the draw, but quickly Johnson chips it right back into the zone for the Panthers. Good play. Ties up Megan in the corner. Escala in the corner, in there in that scrum with Johnson. Escala. Johnson takes a check from Megan. O'Shaughnessy comes away with it. Henry tried the poke check, but now it's a 3-on-2 for Carolina. Good back check from Escala and Henry. Here's a 1T, and it sticks to the glass by Temkin. 14 seconds left in the period. Mahan to Megan. This puck just barely stays in the zone. Here's a shot. It'll find its way behind Temkin. Puck tied up on the back end of the net, and that'll do it for the second period. Both teams getting on the board once, and we find ourselves the lead the same as it was at the end of the first for Carolina, 2-1. Still a 1-goal lead in anybody's game.
Minus losing Olsen due to the penalty, which we both question whether that should have been an ejection or not. That's a discussion for another time. I think that's a great period if you're a High Point. You survive the 5-minute penalty kill. You score a goal. Yes, you give one back a little bit quickly, but I think that's a fantastic period if you're the High Point Panthers, one you got to be proud of. And let's see if they can carry any momentum here into the third period.
I absolutely agree. We'll have a talk between Mike Guerriere and the goal scorer for the Panthers, Nick Sasso, in just a moment.
I'm here with freshman who had a big home opener with 2 goals last season versus Stevenson. Today with 1 goal against the Tar Heels. What does a goal like that against a big opponent like UNC feel like?
It was a great feeling, just had a good rush there, good pass by Dakota Sexton. I made a nice move, buried it, and tied the game. It got the boys on the bench rowdy, and we're ready to go.
We love when the boys on the bench get rowdy and get excited for their fellow opponents, but right now still down 2-1. How does the offense look to take some pressure off the defense to allow some opportunities to get some shots on goal?
Just got to play good defensively, get the pucks out of the zone, get them in deep, and finish our checks. If we finish our checks, we'll be in good shape.
Thank you so much for the interview. With only 1 period of hockey left to go, we will soon be underway right after this brief wait the puck drop.
2 periods down, 1 to go, and we'll bring it to you here from the Greensboro Ice House. Graham Tuck with Danny Shay. High Point University hockey taking on the visiting UNC Tar Heels, and it has been a tight game so far. 2-1, the Tar Heels lead through 40 minutes, and it has been an onslaught since the opening puck drop by UNC, but High Point, their defense has held strong. Ian Temkin, a big part of that. So was a 5-minute major power play that was completely killed off by High Point, and they've got 20 more minutes to tie this thing up and get us to overtime.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast just how important this High Point defense would be if they wanted to get out of here with a win tonight. And they've played absolutely phenomenal so far. And you mentioned Ian Temkin. He stood on his head. I said before, I've run out of words to describe how well Ian Temkin has played tonight. We saw him in between periods just sitting on the bench in an absolute zone that I don't think I've seen anyone in a very long time.
And that's how he is every single game. He is unlike any other. There's a good pass breakup by McDonald. Good job to get O'Hare off the puck. O'Hare gets it back, though. O'Shaughnessy takes it away from him. And now at the point, it's one of the goal scorers, Winfrey. Kennedy, good play to get it out of the zone. Winfrey sends it off the board. Zajic, his D partner, gets it across to Friedman. Here come the Tar Heels. Friedman drops it to nobody, and Kennedy the other way. Kennedy gets around O'Hare, into the zone onside. No ice either.
Another thing to keep an eye on this third period is how High Point's going to play with only 5 defensemen.
That's a very good point. Egan has left the contest with an injury. Olsen, we mentioned, got the major penalty. There's a big hit by Ripley. He's going to be a big part of this defense going forward. And now out of the zone, the Panthers. Johnson couldn't get completely around Mahan. Gleason slides it across. Here's Vaglia. Moves in on Ripley. Gets around Ripley. Temkin, good job with the stick to seal that puck off. Ripley drops it back to Pageant.
Great positioning there from Ian Temkin.
Good positioning from Ripley and Pageant as well. Only 3 games together to their credit, but they work very well together as D partners. Here's Megan. Spins around to Henry. Johnson gets it to Henry. Here are the Panthers. Sends it across for Escala.
Just a little bit too far of Garrett Escala as that pass from Ryan Henry.
Fallon onto the ice for Johnson. Fallon quickly takes the puck away. Henry couldn't get it back as Leighton Walsh clears the zone. Pageant at the red, sends it back in. Just over 2 minutes gone here in the period.
Good start to the period if you're the High Point Panthers.
I agree. Here comes Mahan for the Tar Heels, though. Mahan to Vaglia. Back to Mahan. Good stick check from McDonald. Puck finds its way to the slot. Here comes Fallon. Over to McDonald. Tried to kick it to himself, but it gets its way to Winfrey for the Tar Heels.
Feels like the first time all game. I feel like we've seen some consistent pressure here from the High Point Panthers to open this third period. We've seen it in spurts, but we haven't seen it consistently. And over these first 3 minutes, High Point's they've played really well. I think they've pressured greatly. They've pressured very well. They've kept UNC away from any major scoring chances. I like the start to the period for the Panthers here a lot.
Federer in the corner. Fallon lost it. Here's Sabotin cutting to the slot. Sabotin makes a move. He keeps moving around, centers it up. Here's Winfrey with a slap chance off the 1T, and Kasowski can't keep it in the zone. Kasowski makes his turn, gets around Fallon. Fallon lucky to not get a penalty drawn on him there. Kasowski centered it for Sabotin, but here comes Sasso. Tried to put it ahead for Fallon, and now Zajic. Gleason on the backhand, dances around Fallon. Strong forecheck here from Fallon and Macheska. Kasowski, big hit by Sexton. Here's Macheska, who lost it just briefly, and it'll trickle back to the neutral zone. High Point with playing, this is the first time all game I think I can say that they have been the better team to start this period.
I completely agree, and we just saw Cole Kasowski yet again put on the display of speed that we've seen all game from this UNC team.
Sabotin sends it to the blue line. Here's Gleason. He'll fire a shot, and it leaks past Temkin. They score.
Yet another,
that one looked deflected.
Another deflection. They know how to beat him. They throw the shots low, they get a stick on it, and it has to trickle past, and they know that. They've been doing it all game, and another one gets through. That's a big goal for the Tar Heels.
3-1 the score. Sabotin led the line back to the bench. It looks like he's going to be the one who takes credit for the goal. But it's like you said early on, Danny, it looks like that's how it's going to have to be if you want to beat Ian Temkin. You have to get deflections on because you're not going to beat him straight up. It just isn't going to happen.
No, Panthers lucky there to not get a tripping penalty as well.
Edwards gets into the zone for Carolina, who finds themselves with their biggest lead of the night. That one saved by Temkin, and he seals the pad to keep it out. Oh, what a save! No, they score. I thought he kept the rebound out, but Friedman put it past him, and it's 4-1 Carolina.
I thought he had it as well. I thought that was about to be one of the best glove saves I've ever seen, but good play from Friedman to get the puck and just wait, and then he puts it right past him. But just like that, this game goes from a 1-goal game to a 3-goal game very quickly.
Just as we said, the High Point was looking like the better team. Quickly, that changes in a heartbeat. A couple of fortunate bounces for Carolina, and a couple of bad looks for High Point.
But if you're
themselves down by 3.
If you're High Point, you can't let that overtake your mind. You can't get too beat by it.
And there's a quick rebound save for Temkin.
That's a big save because if that puck somehow finds its way in, this game's 5-1 that quickly.
And Temkin has lost all momentum and confidence as well.
Yeah.
Here's Henry, has a Scala, no numbers for the Panthers. That's a quick shot, got blocked.
But you can't blame Temkin for either of those goals. One is another deflection that just beats him, which there's nothing you can do about that. And that other one, it was just a patience game, and UNC won it.
That was a good deflection. Johnson trying to give the Tar Heels a taste of their own medicine, but Brown stands tall and holds on to that one. 14:48 left to go here on the clock on your screen.
High Point's just got to get pucks at the net. You get pucks at the net. We saw what happened the first time. You just got to get one at him. It's not going to happen that quickly.
In the corner, Carolina comes away with it. Leighton Walsh carries it along, past Sasso, past Calkins. He'll hold up. Gets it to Winfrey. Dances around, Winfrey at the blue line. Winfrey cuts in to the slot, bodied off by Sasso, but Winfrey gets it back.
More of that speed right there to be able to create that chance, but good defense on the Panthers to break it up.
Here's a centering pass. Walsh takes it near side circles. At the dot, he'll fire a shot over the crossbar. Winfrey gets it at the near side boards, far side on your screen. This is a penalty coming up against High Point, I believe. No, against Carolina. It's going to be Winfrey for a hold. That was an unexpected call. But Carolina touches up, and Perry Winfrey finds himself in the box. So now a power play for Carolina. For High Point. Let's see what can happen here for the Panthers.
This could be a big-time power play for the Panthers. You get another goal here, get yourselves right back into this game. You'll have more than 10 minutes to go, even if it comes later in the power play.
Two minutes up on the clock against Winfrey. Escala wins the faceoff. Henry drops it for Johnson at the point, who sends it right back in, and Megan intercepts that, moves the other way. Megan sends it all the way in. Bird into the zone with speed. Bird all the way around. Johnson. Henry. Back to Johnson. High slot. He'll fire a shot, and it's a save made by Brown.
That's what this Panther power play has to do. Just get pucks on net.
Here's Sasso. Shot from Bird off the crossbar.
Oh, look, ref saying that went in.
They score! Morgan Bird! Oh, my goodness!
That's big time. And just like that, not even a minute into this power play, Panthers get right back on the board. Morgan Bird yet again on the power play.
Sasso and Marty doing it all for the Panthers, and it's 4-2. Right back in it.
And that's a big goal. Look at it, all going right to Ian. saying, hey, let's go. We're not dead yet. We still have 13 minutes to go in this game. They get another goal here. Doesn't even have to be right away. You can wait another 5 minutes. You get another goal here. This is just right back to a 1-goal game, and who knows what happens later on. Big time goal for the Panthers.
So Bird ties up Sasso for the team leading goals at 3 apiece. 13-15 left here in the third. And this is icing against Carolina.
This could be a huge momentum swing for the Panthers. What do? They come down, score a goal. They force an icing right back into their offensive zone. Panthers get something going here. They get Ian Temkin's confidence back up. They get their own confidence back up. This could be huge for the Panthers.
I could not believe that puck found its way into the net.
Well, I heard you say no goal, and then all of a sudden I see the ref pointing like that's a goal.
Right, but clear as day, you hear the crossbar.
I thought that was all crossbars. The ref's playing another defenseman over here for the Panthers.
Kennedy lost the puck into the zone. Winfrey takes it away from him. Drops it for Zajic.
Good pressure from the Panthers offense.
Good forecheck. Hunter Arsenault lost it to O'Hare. McDonald, the lone defenseman, back. O'Hare,
great
get around McDonald.
Fantastic play.
Here's Kennedy, 3-on-2. Shay Arsenault leaves it for Kennedy, and a good back check from Gleason.
That was almost a
Kennedy
beautiful
takes
pass.
it back
Here we
away,
go.
leaves it for a backhand, and they score! Sean McDonald, 1-goal game.
Here we go. What did I say? One. All you need is one. And what does it do? Look at this. Great forecheck from the Panthers to force a turnover. What a pass in. Fantastic goal, 5-hole. And now look at the UNC goaltender, Lucas Brown, shaking his head. He might be in a little bit of distress now. That's 2 quick goals by the Panthers. And just like that, we're back to a 1-goal game.
I couldn't tell if that was Calkins or McDonald that poked it home. I thought it was McDonald. It was McDonald, I'm hearing from our scorekeeper. So McDonald gets credit for the goal, and it makes it a 1-goal game. There's a 1-T. Oh, Temkin was down and out, but O'Shaughnessy puts it wide. Carolina not giving up either. But High Point is playing with all of the energy right now. There's a good shot block from Pageant.
Great response so far from Carolina, but even better defense from the Panthers, which has been the story of this game for them.
Megan fires a shot, good block. Pageant yet again. It finds its way to the corner. Here's Kosowski, his shot. Oh, stick save Temkin. That one nearly found its way in as well.
This game just got real exciting real quick, didn't it, Graham?
Here comes Fallon. It's a 2-on-1. He's got Sasso. Fallon shot, oh, just wide.
You can hear the energy in this building starting to pick up as
Sabotin
well.
back the other way. He'll hold up, fires a pass. Kosowski tied off by McDonald. And a shot and a save, Temkin.
Big save from Temkin. That's one that'll get his confidence back to where it was coming out of the second period. Good physical play as well behind the net there.
Calkins stretch pass finds Sasso. Sasso gets around his defender, Miglior. Chip pass, and there's a hand pass by Carolina, but McDonald picks it up, so no call. He'll fire that on goal. 11 minutes left here in the third.
Well, that was an exciting few minutes there, Graham, wasn't it?
I would say that for sure. Here comes Mahan for Carolina. 4-3, the Tar Heels lead. There's a centering pass in the slot. Escala, big hit. He lost his stick. Back to the point. Migliora save Temkin. Walsh got tied up with the official. Walsh back at the blue line. Good breakup by Henry. Henry, can he get around Walsh? No. This one's sent to the slot. Bird picks it off.
The Panthers are back to being that team we saw in the first few minutes of this third period here.
Oh, there's a good play from Carolina. Vaglia harassed by McDonald, the most recent goal scorer. Mahan in the corner.
Carolina's been trying to do that little rat play all night, but the Panthers defense and Ian Temkin have shut that down every time.
Walsh had it knocked away from him. Zajic gets it back. This is numbers for Carolina. Zajic fires a shot. Temkin doesn't have his stick. I missed that. Here comes the Panthers. Arsenault throws a hit onto Mahan. And Pageant, a nice little move, gets the red line, dumps it in. This third period is halfway gone. Arsenault couldn't get it from Zajic. Charging in. Here comes the defenseman Ripley. Friedman rims it around the boards. Can McDonald keep it in? No. He'll get it back. Dance through a linesman. Oh, nice move from McDonald to get around Edwards. McDonald gets the red, throws it deep. Kennedy all the way in on Zajic. Hunter Arsenault hits the deck. O'Hare got around him. And now McDonald has to get on his horse to get back. O'Hare's got some speed, especially for a 30-year-old. Big hit, Hunter Arsenault. O'Hare knocks him off. And Bird loses it to Friedman. O'Hare gets it back. Shay Arsenault, good stick lift by Shay. Throws it off the glass and out of the zone. Shay bodies all the way around O'Hare.
Numbers.
3-on-2. Here's Bird. His shot, save made. And Carolina clears the zone.
Good save there by the UNC keeper in Lucas Brown, just off the toe. This game was almost just tied.
That's his biggest save of the night, bar none. Sean Joyce, first time we've called his name in a while. He gets back onto the ice. He's forechecking hard. Fallon, good play. Sasso keeps it in the zone. Forecheck pays off. Fallon, centered up. No, Sasso kept it. All the way around. Sasso, still with the puck. Sasso, he'll take a shot off the post. 8 minutes even left in this third period, and High Point is knocking on the door.
Well, if you thought, I don't even know where I was just going with that, but what I meant to say was that this team that we're seeing right now, this High Point team, completely different than the first period team we saw. If you would have told me this team were to show up at any point in time, which that was a fantastic move right there.
Here's Ripley. He'll throw a shot on net. Sasso kept it, and his shot blocked. Sasso again. Oh, into the netting, out of play.
Graham, the last time the Panthers overcame a 3-goal deficit to win was February 6th against Coastal Carolina. They trailed 6-2 in the second period and won 8-7 in overtime. Could we see a repeat of history here tonight with just some smaller numbers?
This team is one that has had no quit in them. There's a good deflection from Johnson, and Brown stands tall. Shots on goal coming not quite at a premium, you would say.
No.
In the corner, Johnson in there. Ice has tilted in the Panthers' favor. Federer, his stick, sold on him. Here's Vaglia. Gets around McDonald. On the backhand, McDonald centers up. Here's Mahan. Save!
What a save! What a save by Ian Temkin. Stretches out and gets that left pad on it.
Federer still with no stick. Puck still in the slot. Where is it? It's in some skates. Knocked down is Mahan. McDonald to the corner and sent down. This will be icing, but you'll take that 10 days a week.
What a save from Ian Temkin, keeping this Panther team in this hockey game. Stretches out, gets that left pad extension, and makes a fantastic save.
And Coach Starcher's going to call his timeout for High Point. I agree with that call. A minute break. We'll be right back. And back at the Greensboro Ice House, High Point has used their timeout. It is a 4-3 lead for Carolina. But High Point has scored the last two, and they have all the momentum. There's a deflection. Puck never found its way to Temkin. Puck still fought for in the corner. O'Hare chips it along behind the net. 6.5 left here. McDonald with speed, sends it across for Kennedy. Pass was behind him. On the backhand, sends it ahead for Macheska. Here's Arsenault. He comes away with it. This is a penalty against Zajic. Arsenault gets it back. Strong play. And the Panthers. Are you kidding me? Is this against Arsenault?
Well, Arsenault came back with a little retaliation slash there. So they might have gotten him for the retaliation.
That is brutal.
And both look like they're going.
Zajic and Arsenault are both going to go, but that was a power play and a half for High Point, and Arsenault gives it away, and now it's going to be 4-on-4.
What could have been another key opportunity for this Panther team. What happens? Another penalty of their own negates a power play. Not the first time it's happened tonight, not even the second time it's happened tonight. The third time tonight, a Panther power play has been negated by one of their own, taking a penalty right back.
Fallon can't win the face-off. O'Shaughnessy lost it to Bird. To Sasso, both of which have a goal. Calkins in his own end. Harassed by Kasowski. O'Shaughnessy gets around Fallon.
Kasowski's been all over the ice tonight for the Tar Heels.
Winfrey takes it in his own end. 5:40 left in the third. Still a one-goal game. And the Tar Heels are going to play the four corners just like they used to. They start the breakout. Here's O'Shaughnessy.
There's more of that speed.
O'Shaughnessy, nice little move on the backhand. Gets it to Winfrey. Still 4-on-4 for 1:10. Down low to Kasowski. Centered for O'Shaughnessy. Sasso, big hit. O'Shaughnessy still with the puck. Bird gets it away from him. O'Shaughnessy takes it back. Sasso on a spin move, gets it into the corner boards. Winfrey sends it right back into the corner where it came from. Calkins chips it along. Sasso stripped it from O'Shaughnessy. This is Bird moving ahead. Bird into the zone. Bird on the backhand.
Good
Bird
speed.
all the way in. Bird's shot save, Brown. And now here's a chance for Ripley. In his skates, Ripley's shot blocked. Ripley gets it back. Ripley all the way around. Fallon tapping for it. Fallon's shot. It was blocked. Pageant is the lone back check. This is out of play into the penalty box. 21 seconds left. This faceoff will stay in the attacking zone for High Point.
It's nonstop action. This game is back and forth, and this third period has flown by. Only 4 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. The storylines keep showing. The UNC speed, the High Point defense countering, but the High Point offense in this third period has really shown that it's here to play as well.
Escala with the puck at center ice. 13 seconds left on the 4-on-4 time. 4:20 left on the clock. In the corner, here's Gleason. Sabotin back to 5-on-5. Sabotin still with it, stripped out of the zone. 4:05 left on the clock here. Sabotin still with the puck.
High Point's
dance around to everybody. Johnson sends it back to his D. That one's batted down by Walsh. Here's Escala. Escala into the zone. Walsh.
good play by Walsh to cut Escala off. Didn't even give him the chance to enter the zone.
Into the zone, Carolina. Ripley blows a tire. Here's Walsh, tried the wrap. Friedman's shot and a save after the block by Henry. Here's Shea Arsenault. Good poke by Walsh. 3.5 left here. Gotta wonder when we may see Ian Temkin leave his crease if the Panthers can retain possession. Winfrey sends it deep. It's not on goal. Zajic back at the other point. This pass to Sabotin. Content to let it be in the corner. Sabotin cuts to the dot. Turns it over to Arsenault. Arsenault on the forehand. Sends it off the boards. It's not out. Sabotin keeps it in. Walsh behind the net. Moving around McDonald. McDonald off the glass. Here comes Escala on the backhand to Shay. And he turned it right over to Winfrey. Under 3 to play. Here's Zajic. Calkins in the corner on the backhand. Sends it around to McDonald. 2.5 left here in the third. Kennedy couldn't catch that pass. Too much on it, and this is icing.
I think coach was ready to pull Ian Temkin there, but he saw the icing call and was not too happy about it.
No matter the result of this contest, you got to be pleased with the fight if you're a Panther hockey fan.
Absolutely. I mean, to give up 2 goals that quickly, to respond with 2 of your own, plus the great play of Ian Temkin. We mentioned the goals that have gone by him tonight, not all obviously being his fault. He's played extremely well. You got to be happy with this result, especially with what happened the last time these two teams saw each other. It was not a close game, so.
Oh, what a move by Mahan. A snipe, he got the water bottle. Can't even be mad about that. Nothing Temkin could do. 5-3 game.
And that might be it for the Panthers. 2-goal game with 2 minutes left. They had all the energy.
And that just shows how the icing was killer.
But what a shot.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot. Another one up into the toy department. Pops the water bottle out. And UNC pops out to a 2-goal lead.
That was nothing short of highlight worthy. Miglior turned it over to Joyce as we hit the 2-minute even mark. Mahan, who just scored the most recent goal, maybe the dagger. Joyce lost it, fell to the ice. Bird in there. Mahan gets it back, tried to center it up. Joyce knocked it down. Another centering chance, and Calkins clears trouble. 1:44 left. Miglior back at the point. His slap shot all the way through to Temkin. He'll swallow it up.
Temkin saw that one all the way. He was moving when the shot was even taken. No question that Ian Temkin was going to get that one.
Well, High Point did what we knew they would. And Carolina did what we knew they would. High Point has been very strong defensively this whole game.
Yep.
And Carolina has skated circles around them, but the goaltending play lackluster. This is exactly what we knew it would be coming in, and it just seems like the offensive firepower for Carolina has been too much for High Point to handle.
Absolutely. We mentioned the top of the broadcast. Who's going to win? Is it going to be the High Point defense, or is it going to be this high-octane UNC offense? Ian Temkin did all he could to keep High Point in this game, but the UNC offense just seems like it's about to come out on top of that battle.
Federer, a nice move to get it to Bird, his newly formed defensive partner. As we approach the 60-second mark, doesn't appear that we're going to see Temkin leave his crease.
No signal from the High Point bench either indicating that,
Edwards
but here we
behind
go.
everybody, onside, a shot, they score.
Dagger.
That is a lapse in judgment by the High Point defense, but down by 2 with about a minute left, you gotta be aggressive.
And that could just be the result of only playing with 5 D-men all period. They're getting tired.
That'll just pad the stats for Edwards, who gets his first goal of the season. Freshman defender from Raleigh. Nice little homegrown talent for North Carolina. So it's a 3-goal lead, which matches the largest of the game for Carolina, but when you look at this final score, 6-3, it's not going to tell the story of this game at all.
Absolutely not. This third period was absolutely electric.
There's a shot that's blocked, and Macheska comes away with it, one of the alternate captains for this Panther team. Sexton and Macheska run into each other. And here comes Zajic. That's a shot and a glove save. Temkin on the chance from Kosowski.
I really, really, really liked High Point's response to the first 3-goal deficit, excuse me. What do? They give up 2. They're coming into the period down 1. They give up 2 quickly. What do? They respond with 2 of their own. They played extremely well after that. It was another just quick 2-goal flurry from the UNC offense that has us at a 6-3 game. But like you just mentioned, score might say 6-3, doesn't tell you the story of this game at all, because 6 goals you think, oh, maybe the High Point goaltender didn't play so well. Ian Temkin absolutely stood on his head tonight for this team. He can't be disappointed with the performance at all.
And it's not even that his defense left him out to dry.
No,
the defense
not at
was
all.
Great.
Not at all.
Carolina offense just too much to handle.
We said that coming into this game, that this Carolina offense is just the top to bottom there, absolutely loaded. As that one almost somehow just found its way in.
That would have been absurd if that one had trickled in, but with 5 seconds left, clock running out on High Point tonight here in the Greensboro Ice House. And so that'll do it. 6-3 the final. But High Point has got to be impressed with the way that they fought in this contest.
100%. This is the most high-octane offense that they've seen all season so far. They're coming into a series with Old Dominion this weekend, who's going to be a little underneath this UNC offense. Excited to see how they respond come tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, right back here at the Ice House. So we'll see. But great showing from the UNC offense. A great showing, in my opinion, from the High Point defense, and even the High Point goaltending. Ian Temkin was fantastic tonight, but this UNC offense is loaded top to bottom, can't be contained.
So that'll do it for us here. High Point drops to 1-2 on the season. Carolina improves to 2-3-1. They'll be back at it tomorrow against Drexel at the Wake County Competition Center. High Point back here tomorrow night, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably tonight against Old Dominion for the first of 2 games against that team from the M3 Elite Division. But one more time for Mike Guerriere, Danny Shay, everybody else involved here at the Ice House. I've been Graham Tuck. 6-3 the final. Carolina on top.